Greetings, Hoodoo family. So glad to be with you one more time. Thank you. A special thanks to all of my subscribers and supporters. I hope this video finds your Hoodoo journey going well. So, family, we had a great Hoodoo camp meeting this week. A great small group of people who are sincere and authentic on their Hoodoo journey. Talked about a couple of personal things that have happened to me, but after the meeting, I continued to go down memory lane. So today I want to share a story with you and a couple of lessons that might help you on your Hoodoo journey. But first, let me provide an update. The basic Hoodoo training textbook is on its way to me, and I will be shipping out all orders as soon as I receive it this week. You can also go ahead and place your order for this book on my website. It's a great place to start if you want to learn traditional Hoodoo of our ancestors. It's a basic Hoodoo textbook that covers many different areas, subjects, and even some Hoodoo theology. There's assignments in there so that you can get that vital hands-on experience. There's quizzes to test your knowledge of what you have learned. There's all sorts of resources. There's step-by-step instructions for roots, for spells, for rituals, just a ton of information. And I do all of this because I want you to have a very good, solid foundation in Hoodoo. So go check it out on my website and order your copy today. Well, family, also just want to let you know that June is the month we celebrate Juneteenth. And it's also the month that I do a virtual Hoodoo doll exhibit on my channel. And this will actually be the third year that I have this voodoo Hoodoo doll exhibit. This year, I will also be teaching you about Hoodoo dolls, and I'll have a video on how to make one for yourself. And of course, I'm going to give away some prizes. Every week during the month of June, I want to give away a Hoodoo doll. I want to give away some books just to say thank you. So stay tuned for all of this in the month of June. So let's get back to the Hoodoo story and lesson that I want to share with you in this video. Now, for those of you who have the Hoodoo Basic Training book, you have a whole chapter devoted to foot tracks that shows you everything you need to know, including a simple method for collecting and using someone's foot tracks. That's all in chapter 10. And that gives you some good context to what I'm about to present in this video. You know, as a child growing up, I remember we only wore shoes in the fall and winter or when we had to go somewhere, like to church or into town. When we were at home, and especially during the summer, all around in the community, we were barefooted. We walked through mud puddles, we ran through woods, all, just ran over sticks and stuff. We even walked on the hot tar road. They finally paved our gravel road, gave us a tar road, and it would get so hot, but our feet must have been made of rawhide because we just trampled all over it, barefooted. And that's to give you some context about what I'm about to share with you. There was a young lady named Emma who was a cheerful, happy soul. She was kind to everyone in the community, and everyone absolutely loved Emma. She helped her grandmother in the garden. She helped her mother cook. She helped to watch her younger brothers and sisters while her mother sometimes worked. When neighbors needed help, she was always there for them. She was just a very dependable young lady. So everyone loved Emma. There was a young man named Harry in the community who was really smitten with her. He basically saw her as a prize. He was a hard, working young man, and he hoped to marry Emma, build a little house on some of his father's land so that they could have a family. And I really believe that he just wanted to do this because it was the perfect image. It was something that would please his family. I'm not sure that he was really in love with Emma. That's why I say I believe he viewed her as a prize. But this young man also liked to drink and have his fun with a certain fast young lady named Marcy. He would drink and he would be with Marcy on the weekend nights, but in church trying to impress Emma on Sunday morning. Talk about contradiction. And this didn't sit well with Marcy. She wanted Harry for herself. She was jealous of Emma. She wanted Harry to marry her. She wanted to be the one that he built that little house with on his father's land. So Marcy had a hoodoo woman put a root on Emma to get her out of the picture so that Harry would focus only on her. In her mind, she's thinking if Emma was out the picture, then Harry would love her and build his life with her. And during that time, foot track work was one of the most used hoodoo work around. People often went barefooted around their homes and sometimes in the neighborhood, even working out in the fields. So it was easy to lift someone's foot tracks. That's why my mother, my grandmother, and all my family always kept their yard swept, always kept their porches swept, because at that time, people would come around at night and lift your tracks. So this hoodoo woman had someone to lift Emma's tracks. And when you get someone's foot track, you can take the dirt and you can use it in any kind of hoodoo work, both good or bad, because the sole of your feet carries the essence of your soul. This is one way to access someone's soul to do work on them. It is one of the most effective ways to do work on someone. And as you know, it's also one of the primary ways that healing is done in hoodoo. Well, anyway, family, this hoodoo woman took Emma's foot track and she created a route to make her sick and depressed. And sure enough, Emma got so bad she didn't want to leave her room. She would barely eat anything. She didn't want to talk to anyone. She was just no longer her cheerful, active self. And of course, her family and all the neighbors around her were very concerned. So her family took her to the doctor in town, but he couldn't find anything wrong with her. So they were just, continuing to be concerned about Emma, that, it just seemed like she was wasting away. But her grandmother was wise, and she suspected that work had been done on Emma. So she went out into the woods and she picked some devil's grandma leaves and she made a foot wash of these for Emma. And she bathed Emma's feet in this while praying over her. And the next day, Emma started to feel better. She started to eat a little something and talk. So her grandmother continued to bathe her feet in this wash every night until Emma was back to her old self, her cheerful, active self again. So to sum it up, Emma didn't marry Harry and Harry didn't marry Marcy. In fact, Emma went on to college, she married someone else, had a beautiful family and grandkids, and just lived a very good and happy life. Harry ended up marrying someone else, but he still fooled around. And Marcy, she never married, but she had several children and she did okay. Marcy, you know, um, had a good, happy life with her family. But there are many lessons to be learned from this story that I want to share with you. Three of them, in fact, three things that I want you to remember. Number one, people can take your foot tracks and do harmful things to you. Foot track work, it's not as popular today as it was back then. And I guess that's because a lot of people don't go barefooted outside anymore like they used to. But I want you to remember, a hoodoo practitioner who is skilled in lifting tracks can use your shoe print. They don't need your barefoot to do foot track work on you. All they have to do is lift your shoe print. Number two, sometimes all that is needed to remove something off of you is a good, strong nature spirit, like the devil's grandma leaves that Emma's grandmother used to wash her feet and remove that root off of her. and also someone praying for you from the heart, which Emma's grandma did. Number three, be careful where you walk. Don't walk through what might look like something that's been spilled, because it can actually be a medium intentionally placed there in your path to collect your tracks. Anytime you see a spill on the sidewalk, salt or some kind of powder, even sand, even on your porch, maybe at work, be careful and never walk through stuff like this. So, family, I hope this has been helpful to you. Check out the Hoodoo Basic Training Book. It has everything you need to get started learning Hoodoo that our ancestors created. It is Afrocentric, it is African centered, and there is so much to learn, so many different categories to explore, such as enemy work, uncrossing work, prosperity work, sweetening and love work. There's hoodoo vessels to learn, there's hoodoo rituals to learn. You got to look at the hoodoo beliefs. This book is intended to give you the knowledge and help build your understanding of hoodoo work and give you the hands on application, which is going to build that necessary hoodoo wisdom. This is a hoodoo textbook, and I believe it is the best source for helping to get you started learning hoodoo. So go check it out on my website.